it was very unhealthy. I think my parents were probably a little worried about me. Hey, what's up? My name's Ashley. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new. This is going to be my March reading wrap-up. This is very late, but you know what? My kids have been on spring break and they've been driving me crazy, and I have not found a moment of peace to sit down and do this until now. So without further ado, let's just get into it. Okay, so I had a really bad end to the month of February. Like, my emotions were all over the place. I was kind of in a slump. And so I was really worried for what the month of March would bring, but oh my gosh, this was like my favorite reading month ever. Like, I had some real goodies. And I have to say, I believe that March of 2022 is the official month that I have full-on converted to fantasy being my #1 go-to genre. Like, give me fantasy, give me the Rex, it's all I'm here for now. Okay, so starting off the month on a really high note, I read Akamath, A Court of Mist and Fury, and I don't know what the hell was taking me so long to get to this damn book. I read ACOTAR back in September, and I loved it. And I knew that, like, this is where things would get even better, and I just don't know why I was sleeping on it for so long, but I read it, and I annotated the hell out of it. I highlighted a lot. Reasoned is probably like now the blueprint book boyfriend. I get it now. I get the hype. Like, I am obsessed. Yeah, like, I'm obsessed. Let's just say I finished this book and I like ordered a Reasoned bookmark and stuff like that. I want to order like some special edition dust jacket covers, like with beautiful artwork on it. Like, I am full on hardcore into this now. So this was obviously a 5 out of 5 for me. Okay, and then after Akamath, I read Wildlands. This is the second book in the Savage Land series. This is another fantasy series. This is a low fantasy, so it takes place in the modern world. I'm not going to talk too much about this because, like I said, it is the second book in the series. The first book ended on quite the cliffhanger. This one literally picks up moments after that, and I absolutely loved it. I love the characters. I love the tension between the two leads, Brexley and Warwick. Like, this is a slow burn romance, and I'm just waiting for it to happen. Like, I know it's gonna happen in the next book, but like, I'm here for it. But this one does end in another cliffhanger, but I loved this. This was another 5 out of 5 for me. Okay, and then taking a slight pause on fantasy, I did go back to a romance, and that was The Fine Print by Lauren Asher. Now, this one was kind of a roller coaster for me to read. I think the best way to describe my thought process during this book was I just had a ton of whiplash. The leading man, the hero, Rowan, he seriously gave me whiplash. He was all over the place. Like, he was a complete dick. And then he would say something where I'm like highlighting and I'm like, okay, I see this. And then he would turn around and be a complete dick again. And I just, like, yeah, like I said, I had such whiplash from this book. Now, I did appreciate the amusement park aspect of it. I'm a huge Disneyland fan, so I loved that. I also really appreciated Rowan's attachment to his grandfather, because that personally hit me very close to home. I was very close to my grandparents. And then I also really loved Zara's sister having Down syndrome and that representation and her friendship with Rowan. But the romance part of it, like I said, I just got huge whiplash from it. And so I did end up rating it a 3.75 because, like, there was stuff I loved and then there was stuff that I did not love. The hospital scene, if you've read this, for me, that should have been it for her. Like, nope, I'm sorry. No, I'm not coming back from that. So, yeah, this was not my favorite. I do still want to read Terms and Conditions, though, because it was set up in this book, and Marriage of Convenience is one of my favorite tropes ever, so I will give that one a try, but this one just unfortunately did not hit the mark for me. Okay, and then I finished up from Blood and Ash. I had to get caught up. I had read Kingdom of Flesh and Fire at the end of February, and that's really kind of what kick-started the fantasy journey, was the end of February. But I read The Crown of Gilded Bones. I have to say, after reading all of these now, this one is my favorite. And I know that is such an unpopular opinion because a lot of people did not like this book, but I absolutely love this book. I think probably my favorite scene from the whole series is in this book. And it's towards the beginning where Cass thinks something's happening to Poppy and just his reactions. And I tabbed, and guys, look how much, like, I went crazy with this book. So this was a 5 out of 5. And then right after that, I read the prequel book, A Shadow in the Ember, because that is the recommended reading order of the series. And let me say, I am so glad I did read this because there were Easter eggs, there were characters mentioned in the War of Two Queens, and I just felt like I was on top of the information. So I loved this one. I totally get the Daddy Niktos references now. Like, give me book 2 ASAP. And then, of course, I read The War of Two Queens. Now, this was the controversial book of the month. You either loved it or you either hated it, and if you were extra cruel, you were probably sending JLA hate messages and threatening to never read another book she publishes again. And I just have to say, I loved this book. I did do a spoiler review on my channel if you want to go watch that, where I really go in depth with it. But I loved the book. I love the characters. I love where the story is going. This was another 5 out of 5 for me. Okay, and then also this month was my biggest anticipated release for 2022, and it was Falls Boys by Penelope Douglas. Now, it is the spin-off series of Penelope's first series, the Fallaway series. Now, up until this month, I had only read the first 3 books in the series. I hadn't read the rest. So on my Kindle, I read Falling Away, Next to Never, and Aflame. And I loved them all. I think I rated them all 4 out of 5 stars. I think my ratings are on my Goodreads if you want to go check that. But I did finish the series. I absolutely loved it. My favorite couple out of all of them was Jax and Juliet, and which was perfect because the first book in the Hellbent series, the new one, is Jax and Juliet's son. So it was like perfect, and I loved it. So then when I finished that, I was ready for Falls Boys. This is Penelope's new series, new release, and it hit all the marks for me. It checked all the boxes. This really gave me Devil's Night vibes, just a little bit tamer. Okay, a lot tamer, but I loved it. You're gonna have this friend group. There's a mystery setup that goes decades back in the town. It's just, it gives me everything I want. Penelope Douglas is my favorite author ever, and this literally gave me exactly what I wanted. And also bonuses for me was there are Credence references in here because Noah Vanderberg, one of the main characters from Credence, he pops up in this book, and there are axe chopping references to him, so yes, I was for that, and this was a 5 out of 5 for me. I cannot wait for Pirate Girls, the next books to come out. There is a sneak preview of it at the end of this book, and I need it like ASAP. Okay, and then I saved the best for last. So I did not read all 3 of these back to back. I just want to clarify. Normally in my reading wrap-ups, I list the books in the order that I read them, but because majority of these were series, I'm just grouping them all together. But I did read books 3, 4, and 5 in the Zodiac Academy series, and my soul and my heart are forever damaged. I just need to say that the chokehold this series has on me, I have not felt an obsession like this since I read Twilight back in 2008. Like, a few weeks before the movie came out, a friend of mine, she read the first book, and she's like, Ashley, read this. You read, you'll like it. And when I say I was obsessed, I binged all 4 books in one weekend. And then I turned around and I started them over again and binged them all in just a few days again. And it was very unhealthy. I think my parents were probably a little worried about me. But anyway, that is how I feel reading this series. I saw a TikTok a week ago, and the best way to describe Zodiac Academy is that it is the trash TV of the book community. You know, the plot doesn't really pick up until this book, book 5. But the characters are so addicting. Their moments together, a lot of them are horrible, horrible human beings, and I don't know how to explain it. It's crack. It is drugs, it is crack, and I am so sucked in. I mentioned in my last wrap-up video that Tori is my favorite twin. She's still my favorite twin, although in this book, you may be turned off from Tori. If you know, you know. I understand a lot of her thought process, though. It's that Gemini, if you screw me once, you're done. And I get that. I feel that in my soul. Screw me once, and I'm never probably going to talk to you again. So, I get Tori's way of thinking, and I am obsessed with her and Darius. I am obsessed with Darcy and Orion. Yeah. So, I did finish book 6 this week, but that's obviously for April, so I am on the last book until book 8 comes out, and I'm worried for what is going to happen to my mental health when I finish book 7, and I'm on this long journey to Christmas waiting for the final book to come out. So, wish me luck. Alright guys, that is going to do it for my March 2022 reading wrap-up. If you read any of these books and you liked them, comment down below. If you read any of them and you didn't like them, comment down below. We can have a conversation. Yeah, and if Zodiac Academy also has you in a complete and utter chokehold, let's talk. Seriously, I need people to process my feelings and my grief. I threw this book across the room when I finished it. I was crushed and heartbroken and crying. This one, book 5, I threw across the room from anger and frustration. So, make of that as you will. Alright guys, I will see you next time. Bye!